Shalom, good morning, Boker Tov. We're in San Diego today. All right, and we're going to look into the Parasha Chukat, the second part. This is the second part of Parasha Chukat. And we just read about the red heifer, the red cow in chapter 19, and now in chapter 20, we are water that comes from the rock. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at today. We'll go ahead and see the blessing and we'll begin reading, and then we can look at what we read and comment on it. Okay, so here's the blessing. Here we go. Baruch Yahweh Hamrak Lalam Bayit. Baruch Atah Yahweh Eloheinu Asher B'Harabanu Mikohamim Benatalanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Yahweh Ben HaTorah. Amen. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and you guys can follow along. There we go. Okay. Okay. And if you don't mind putting your phone on mute, just because we can hear everything. Okay. All right. We're going okay, so chapter 20. And the children of Israel, all the congregation, came into the wilderness of Sin in the first month. And the people stayed in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. Okay, so I'm reading in Bamidbar, I'm reading in Numbers, chapter 20. Verse 2. Now there was no water for the congregation, and they assembled against Moshe and against Aaron. And the people contended with Moshe and spoke, saying, If only we had died when our brothers died before Yahweh. Why have you brought up the assembly of Yahweh into this wilderness, that we and our livestock should die here? And why have you brought us up out of Mitzrayim to bring us to this evil place, not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, and there is no water to drink? Then Moshe and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly meeting, and they fell on their faces. And the Elohim of Yahweh appeared to them. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aaron, and you shall speak to the rock before their eyes, and it shall give its water. And you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their livestock. Let's hear that in Hebrew. If you don't mind putting your phone on mute, it's because we're getting some feedback. If you can put it on mute.
ויבואו בני ישראל כל העדה מדבר סיני בחודש הראשון, וישב העם בקדש, ותקמו שם מרים ותסתתר. ולא היה מים לעדה, ויקהלו על משה ועל אהרון, וירב העם עם משה ויאמרו לאמור, סלו גבענו בגבע אחינו לפני אדוני, ולמה הבאתם את קהל אדוני אל המדבר הזה, למות שם אנחנו ובעירנו. ולמה העליתונו ממצרים, להביא אותנו אל המקום הרע הזה, לא מקום זרע ובעינה וגפן ורימון, ומים אין לשתות. ומשה ואהרון מפני הקהל אל פתח אוהל מועד, ויפלו על פניהם, וירחמו אדוני. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, קח את המטה, והתחל את העדה אתה ואהרון אחיך, ודיברתם אל הסלע לעיניהם, ונתן מימיו, והוצאת להם מים מן הסלע, והשקית את העדה ואת בעירם.
Okay, so continuing with verse 9. And Moshe took the rod from before Yahweh as he commanded him. And Moshe and Aaron assembled the assembly before the rock, And he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels, shall we bring water for you out of this rock?" Then Moshe lifted his hand and struck the rock twice with his hand, with his rod. Struck the rock twice with his rod. And much water came out, and the congregation and their livestock drank. But Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aharon, "Because you did not believe me to set me apart in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you do not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them." These were the waters of Meribah, because the children of Israel contended with Yahweh, and he was set apart among them. And Moshe sent messengers from Kadesh to the sovereign of Edom. "This is what your brother Israel said. You know all the hardship that has befallen us, that our fathers went down to Mizraim, and we dwelt in Mizraim a long time, and the Mizraimites did evil to us and our fathers. Yahweh, and he heard our voice, and sent the messenger out of Mizraim. And see, we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your border. Please let us pass over through your land. We shall not pass over through the fields nor vineyards, nor drink water from the wells. We shall go along the sovereign's highway. We shall not turn aside right or left until we have passed over your border." Okay, I read the verse 17. Let's hear that in the Hebrew.
ויתהילו משה ואהרון את הקהל אל פני הסלע, ויאמר להם, שמעו נא המורים, המן הסלע הזה נוציא לכם מים? וירם משה את ידו, ויח את הסלע במטהו פעמיים, ויצאו מים רבים, ותש העדה בבחינה. ויאמר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון, יען לא האמנתם בי ועשיתם לעיני בני ישראל, לכן לא תביאו את הקהל הזה אל הארץ אשר נתתי להם. אמני מריבה אשר רבו בני ישראל את אדוני, וישלח משה מלאכים מקדש אל מלך אדום. כה אמר אחיך ישראל, אתה ידעת את כל התלאה אשר נשאתנו. וירדו אבותינו מצרימה, ונשב במצרים ימים רבים, וירעו לנו מצרים ולאבותינו. ונצעק אל אדוני, וישמע קולנו, וישלח מלאך, ויוציאנו ממצרים. והנה אנחנו בקדש, עיר תצא גבולך. נעברה נא בארצך, לא נעבור בשדה ובחרם, ולא נשתה מי באר. דרך המלך נלך, לא נישא ימין ושמאל, עד אשר נעבור גבולך. ויאמר אליו אדום, לא תעבור בי, פן בחרב אצא לקראתך.
Okay. So they're asking Edom to be able to pass through their land. And verse 18, but Edom said to him, "You do not pass over through me, lest I come against you with the sword." And the children of Israel said to him, "We shall go by the highway, and if I or my livestock drink any of your water, then I shall pay for it. Let me only pass over on foot without a word." But he said, "You do not pass over." And Edom came out against them with many men and with a strong hand. So when Edom refused to let Israel pass over through his border, Israel turned away from him. And the children of Israel, all the company, departed from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aharon in Mount Hor, near the border of the land of Edom, saying, "Aharon is to be gathered to his people, for he is not to enter the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my mouth at the water of Meribah. Take Aharon and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor, and strip Aharon of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son. for Aaron to be gathered to his people and died there. And Moshe did as Yahweh commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor before the eyes of all the congregation. And Moshe stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son. And Aaron died there on the top of the mountain, and Moshe and Eleazar came down from the mountain. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, all the house of Israel wept for Aaron 30 days. Okay, so I read to the end of the chapter, to verse 29. Let's hear that in the Hebrew.
ויאמרו אליו בני ישראל, במסילה נעלה, ואם מימיך נשתה אני ומקנאי, ונתתי מכרם, רק אין דבר ברגלי אעבורה. ויאמר לא תעבור. ויצא אדום לקראתו בעם כבד וביד חזקה. וימאן אדום נתום ישראל עבור ביתו, ויגד ישראל מעליו. ויצאו מקדש, ויבואו בני ישראל כל העדה הור ההר. ויאמר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון בהור ההר, על גבול ארץ אדום. ויאסף אהרון אל עמיו, כי לא יבוא אל הארץ אשר נתתי לבני ישראל, על אשר מריתם את פילמי מריבה. קח את אהרון ואת אלעזר בנו, והעל אותם הור ההר. והפשט את אהרון את בגדיו, והלבשתם את אלעזר בנו, ואהרון יעשה ומתם. ויעש משה כאשר ציווה אדוני, ויעלו אל הור ההר לעיני כל העדה. ויפשט משה את אהרון את בגדיו, וילבש אותם את אלעזר בנו. וימות אהרון שם בראש ההר. וירד משה ואלעזר מן ההר. ויראו כל העדה כי גבה אהרון, ויבכו את אהרון שלושיתו כל בית ישראל.
Okay, and that is to the end of chapter 29. Sorry, the end of chapter 20, verse 29. So there's a lot going on in this chapter. So we had the death of Miriam, and immediately after that, it said that there was no water for the congregation. So some of the commentaries by the rabbi said that there's a connection between Miriam and that they always had a provision of water. So as she died, there's no water. So that's one interpretation. So then we also have Moshe hitting the rock with the rod 2 times. So many people say that this was his mistake because he was told to speak to the rock and instead he hit it twice. And then because of this, Yahweh said that Moshe entered into the promised land. And very prophetic because you see that it was Joshua who is an image, a picture of the Mashiach. Joshua is a picture of Yeshua, and it's Joshua who takes the people into the land. So Moshe represents the Torah, and Joshua represents Mashiach, right? And it's not Moshe who takes them to land; it's Joshua, or who represents Yeshua, who brings them into the promised land. So we have the water that comes from the rock, and then we also have the death of Aaron in this Torah portion. So both Miriam and Aaron passed away in this Torah portion, and then we also have the part where they ask Edom if they can go through their land, and Edom comes out against them with the sword, kind of threatening them that they're not to approach, not to go through their land. And this is seen as a very big sin in the eyes of Yahweh, and later on, they are punished for this. There are consequences for this, and we see that the garments of the Kohen Gadol, of the high priest, are done on Eleazar, right? And now he is inaugurated. That honor, that anointing, and that calling is passed on, and it's represented through the garment. So very interesting. So let's say the blessing. We'll close. Here, let's see. Okay. We'll say the blessing to close. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam asher natalanu Torah emet b'tohenu. Baruch atah Yahweh noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you guys, and we will see you on Friday for the last part, chapter 21, and we'll look at the last part of Parashat Chukat. Okay. Have a blessed day, and shalom.
Shalom, shalom, Miha.